Hi, I'm NonbinaryWarrior, and I'm here today to talk to you about various non-binary genders. I've been getting a lot of asks recently from people who are questioning if they are non-binary, so I thought I would make a quick video to describe some less commonly talked about genders, and take you through my gender journey. I first started questioning if I was non-binary when I heard the term genderflux on Tumblr. At the time, it was the first word I'd ever heard that fit what I was feeling. But eventually, I figured out that the only times I felt the intensity of my gender fluctuate was in times where it would be much more convenient for me to just be a cis girl. As I started getting more comfortable with myself and with potentially not being cis, I found the gender of demigirl. This seemed to fit me for a while because at the time I didn't really feel fully like a girl, but I was also still at least a little bit attached to being a girl. Demigirl seemed like a good compromise between those two because I wasn't fully a girl or fully not a girl. I didn't identify as a demigirl for very long though, because I realized that the more comfortable with myself I was getting, the less gendered I felt. Eventually I got to a point where I didn't really feel attached to any gender, and I settled into and accepted the term agender. Throughout this process, I also started going to meetings with other trans and non-binary people near me, and I was able to talk through what I was feeling with people who had also been where I was now, which was something that really helped me figure out who I was and work through what I was feeling. It also helped that throughout the whole process I had friends who were supportive of me and who helped me by using the name and pronouns that made me feel best, and they continue to support me now as I grow and settle into being agender more and continue to discover who I am. I also wanted to talk about some less commonly talked about genders today, in case anyone watching this is currently questioning their gender. I think it's an important part of questioning is just hearing the words and seeing what they mean in the first place. If you don't know there's other people who feel the same way as you, it can be easy to explain away your experiences as just being normal for cis people or even for binary trans people. The first word that I found that helped me start questioning my gender was genderflux, but I think it's easiest to describe genderflux and genderfluid together. Genderfluid describes a gender that is not fixed. The best way I've seen this described is by comparing being genderfluid to having a dial that can change the color of your lights. One day you can set them to blue, the next to green, the next to red, and so on. The color of the lights can change, just like a person who is genderfluid has a gender that can change. Genderflux, on the other hand, described a gender that changes in intensity. Being genderflux is like having a dimmer switch for your lights. The color of the lights doesn't change, but you can adjust the brightness of the lights so that some days they are very bright, and other days they are barely on, or even off. Someone could also be both genderfluid and genderflux, meaning they have a gender that changes in both color and intensity. One day they could be very strongly boy, and the next they could be sort of girl. Neither of these two are limited to only binary genders either. Genderqueer, Maverique, and Aporagender are all similar terms that describe someone who doesn't feel like they are a man or a woman, but feels strong attachment to some other gender outside the binary. Agender, on the other hand, is a lack of gender, and Neutrois is a neutral gender. Demigender means that the person identifies partially but not fully with their gender. For example, I identified as a demigirl for a while because I kind of felt attached to being a girl but kind of didn't. Someone who is bigender has a strong connection to two genders at the same time. These two genders don't have to be binary either. They could be Maverick and woman, for example. Some terms that are starting to gain some popularity are Solarian, Lunarian, and Stellarian. These terms replace the terms female-aligned and male-aligned. Someone who is Solarian is similar in identity or experiences to men, while someone who is Lunarian is similar in identity or experiences to women. Someone who is Stellarian doesn't feel strongly towards any binary gender or rejects those feelings. This is just a starting point for some of the various non-binary genders, but I hope it helps some of you out there who may be questioning your gender. Ultimately, though, you are the person who knows you best, and it's okay to take time to figure this out. Gender isn't a race, and it's okay if you're in your 20s and still don't know what your gender is. That's all I have for you today, though. Keep being you.